Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're taking a deep plunge into a question that probably resonates with so many of us. What am I going to do with my life? It's that, universal feeling of being unsure about your next steps, whether it's career, education, or just general direction, especially when it feels like society demands you have all the answers, like right now. Our source material for this one is, well, it's fantastic. Incredibly candid, often hilarious. It's a personal account from a popular YouTube creator. She lays bare her own journey, sharing really relatable advice on navigating this exact challenge, even while she's right in the thick of it herself, studying for exams, keeping up her upload schedule during a 14-hour study day, as she calls it. It's just refreshingly real.
Yeah, it really is. And our mission here for this deep dive is to pull out the truly actionable insights from her experience. We wanted to find a fresh perspective on approaching those big life choices, career paths, and crucially, how we can maybe learn to embrace change, rather than fear it. It's about charting your next move, even when the full map hasn't quite unfurled yet.
Absolutely. And you're in for some really surprising takeaways, I think. We're going to explore why you might not want to go to college, the inspiring power of starting a company when you're 40, and yes, even the surprising life lessons you can apparently glean from watching Gossip Girl.
Okay, intriguing.
You'll definitely want to stick around for this one. All right, let's unpack this intense pressure. The feeling that you need your entire life figured out, like now. Our source really nails this. She observes that when you're in high school, you think like that.
Right.
You pick a degree, pick a job, and boom, that's it. Settled.
Yeah, the fixed path idea.
But she quickly points out that reality, well, it rarely works that way.
Not at all.
It often involves changing degrees or finding completely new career paths. But doesn't this constant fluidity maybe create a different kind of anxiety? Like the pressure to always be reinventing yourself?
Oh, that's a really good point. It's a paradox, isn't it? While that high school thinking might set people up for anxiety with its rigid path, the constant expectation of change, that can be overwhelming too. The creator herself, she talks about switching degrees and then later realizing, I don't even want to do this job anymore.
Right.
But what's important here, I think, is that it's not a flaw in you if your path changes. It's actually a natural part of growth, of discovery. The goal isn't to prevent change, but maybe become more adaptable to it.
Okay, adaptable. That makes sense. Now, here's where she drops a pretty bold statement about college itself. Her strong recommendation is, don't go to college unless you know you need to go to college.
Wow.
That really goes against the grain, doesn't it? I mean, is that truly viable for everyone? So many industries still seem to default to requiring a degree.
That's the crucial question. And she does get into that nuance. She's careful to differentiate, fields like medicine, law, certain accounting roles.
Sure, the licensed professions.
Exactly. Where a structured degree is absolutely non-negotiable. You need it. But she challenges the idea that it's universally essential, especially for fields where maybe the learning happens faster outside academia. She even talks about regretting her own psychology degree, saying, and this is a quote, "Everything I've learned from my degree, I could have learned from YouTube."
Wow. That's quite a statement.
It is. Yeah. And it makes you think maybe the biggest value of college for some isn't the coursework itself, but maybe the network or the soft skills. What's your take on that?
It's fascinating. Yeah, it makes you question what you're really paying all that money for. So given this critique of, let's say, traditional full-time degrees, if college isn't the universal answer, what alternatives does she suggest for building a robust, adaptable skill set? She specifically mentions picking up a skill like accounting or business law.
Practical stuff.
Right, because as she puts it, that is something that I can use throughout my entire life, and there's also going to be job options for that.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And that connects to this broader idea of acquiring practical, evergreen skills with lasting value, no matter where your career ends up. What's insightful, I think, is her suggestion of maybe considering part-time university alongside work.
Okay, the balance.
Yeah, it offers that critical balance. You gain real-world experience, earn some income while you study. It potentially reduces the financial pressure, helps you apply what you learned right away. It's a sharp contrast to the sort of norm of intense full-time study, which, as she points out, can make it incredibly tough to fit in internships or a social life or even just catch your breath.
Right, it can be all-consuming.
Yeah. So this is about building a foundation that's maybe more flexible, more resilient.
Okay, so flexibility, resilience. What's the big takeaway from all this focus on alternatives and changing paths? It sounds like it boils down to you're probably younger than you think, and time is actually on your side.
Yes.
I love the example she gives of Vera Wang. Powerful stuff. She didn't start her own company till she's 40.
Exactly. It's such an inspiring reminder that success, purpose, they aren't tied to hitting some specific age milestone. And it's not just about age, really. It's about realizing the compounding effect of experience and learning over a longer timeline.
Right.
It pushes back against that ingrained societal pressure to, like, peak early.
Yeah, definitely feel that sometimes.
And when you free yourself from that, it just opens up so many possibilities for exploration. Because every detour, quote unquote, isn't a mistake.
It's data collection.
Exactly. It's just another stop on a much longer journey where you're constantly gathering valuable data about yourself and the world. She even brings up Charlie D'Amelio, how unforeseen opportunities can just emerge in ways you can never predict.
Totally unexpected paths.
Things will change. Things are always changing. The life you imagine now, it will almost certainly evolve. And that's okay. It's not a flaw. It's just life.
Okay, so given that fluidity, that constant change, what's the practical advice she offers for navigating this journey? She says to do as many things, spread yourself out, figure out what you like, what you don't like, explore.
Broad exploration.
Then once that one thing is found, if it is, she says, invest all your time into it. Avoid spreading yourself too thin once you have focus.
Right.
But how do you actually know when you found that one thing? That seems like the tricky part.
It really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? I think it's about that sequence. Broad exploration first, then deep commitment. You test the waters, you collect that data on what truly resonates, what clicks for you, and then you dive in. She also touches on manifestation here, which is interesting.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, she explains that intention's good, but, quote, manifestation only works if you're doing something. You need to take actual steps to get where you want to go.
Ah, so it's not just wishing.
Exactly. It's not magical thinking. It's more about how articulating a goal and then consistently taking small, tangible actions, that creates momentum. It opens up opportunities you might not have even noticed otherwise.
Being an active participant?
Yes. An active participant in your own destiny.
Right.
Not just a passive observer waiting for things to happen.
And her own journey, it just perfectly illustrates this unpredictable nature, doesn't it? She walks us through her high school career dreams, which are quite a ride.
Yeah.
First, an economist admits she didn't even know what that meant.
Okay.
Then a lawyer. Then earthquake people, apparently, just because she liked the movie 2012.
Oh, wow. Okay. Relatable high school logic.
Totally. Then finally, senior year, a film director. She even studied film for a semester before switching to psychology, only to graduate and still feel that familiar, oh, shoot, like, what am I going to do now feeling.
That story is so common, though, feeling adrift even after years of study. What's insightful, I think, is her suggestion for developing productive hobbies.
Productive hobbies. Okay, tell me more.
She recommends having, like, 3 types. One hobby that makes you money.
A side hustle.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah. One creative hobby and one intellectual hobby, like reading.
Interesting categories.
The genius of this, she suggests, isn't just about income or keeping your brain sharp. It's about building this diverse skill set, this network of interests that can unexpectedly intersect.
Okay. They might connect in surprising ways.
Exactly. Your creative hobby might lead to a business idea. Your intellectual hobby might give you an edge in your main career. It's about consciously nurturing different parts of yourself, being more adaptable, more resourceful, rather than just waiting for your one true passion to magically appear, fully formed.
That makes sense. You have to cultivate it.
Yeah. Honestly, for a long time, that intellectual hobby was just scrolling Reddit, which, well, it didn't exactly grow my mind. It takes conscious effort to challenge yourself.
I think many of us can relate to that. And speaking of growth and conscious effort, she shares this really memorable story about personal accountability. She was watching Gossip Girl when her dad walked in, asked if she was doing her assignment. She tried to lie, said the show is part of her assignment.
Okay.
And his response just hit her hard. He said, you can lie to me, but you can't lie to yourself.
Yeah. That's a gut punch of truth, isn't it? It really is. That simple statement just cuts through all the excuses. It's about taking radical ownership, putting in the effort, even when it's tough, even when no one's watching.
Brutal honesty with yourself.
Yeah. If you're not making progress, it often comes down to asking yourself honestly, am I really putting in the work? She also stresses surrounding yourself with people who are better than you.
Right, the environment matters.
Hugely. It's not about feeling inferior. It's recognizing that your environment shapes your capabilities, your drive. That old saying, you are the sum of the 5 people you hang around with most. It's not just a cliche. It's a powerful principle for intentional growth. Who you associate with licks you up or holds you back.
So true. Okay, so bringing this all home, the overarching philosophical takeaway here seems crystal clear. It's that life is a journey. It's not a destination. There are many stops along the way.
Beautifully put.
It's such a powerful reminder, isn't it? That you don't need to know the final destination right now. You're on your own timeline. And it's just so important not to compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20.
Absolutely. Comparison really is the thief of joy there. Ultimately, I think the source encourages us to trust that everything will work out.
Okay.
But it's only going to work out if you actually put in the effort.
There's the catch. No excuses.
No excuses. It's about active participation in your own life, understanding that while you can't control everything outside, you can control your internal drive, your commitment to showing up for the journey.
Okay. So, to recap the core message from this deep dive then, embrace exploration. Don't rush decisions. Recognize that change is, well, it's inevitable and often good. And most importantly, put in that consistent, honest effort.
That nails it. And maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to consider. If life truly is a journey with many stops, and your timeline is absolutely unique, what's one small step you could take, maybe even today, to just read, learn, or explore something new, without any pressure for it to be your final answer or destination?
I like that.
What surprising skill might you just decide to pick up online? Or what ingrained norm might you gently challenge in your own life just to see what unexpected new possibilities might open up?
A fantastic thought to leave everyone with. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep discovering your own unique path.